Hello and welcome to another StarCraft 2 co-op video. Today I'll be taking you back to math class with some Killbots math. These guys and gals here don't need to do any math, so I'm not going to talk about them today. The rest of the commanders need help. On the left is a chart with all the Killbot timings and the number of Killbots, as well as the type. Assuming that you need to pay 50 per worker to feed, the chart on the right shows you how much money you need to spend to feed the bots. These green lines indicate the major changes in timings. The first 4 sets of Killbots come every 1 minute and 30 seconds starting from 3:38. After 8 minutes, they come every 1 minute and 10 seconds. Then after 20 minutes, they come every minute. These timings are worth remembering. These red lines indicate the changes in the number of kills you need. You don't really need to remember any of these timings except 14:18 because that's when things start to get rough for many commanders. The 25-minute mark is another rough patch, even for some of the Zergs who don't need to math. I have divided the timings into 5 phases. In phase 1, you only need 5 or 10 kills. Then in phase 2, you need 20. In phase 3, you need 30. Starting from phase 4, just know that you need a lot. The main thing about phase 4 is that bots come every minute now, and phase 5 is the endgame. The simple calculation for income is 100 minerals per patch per minute, so that comes out to about 1200 minerals per minute. Same with gas, 400 gas per minute. If the expo has 6 patches instead of 5, just consider that money a bonus. The calculations today are based on a 5-patch natural. In phases 2 and 3, bots come every 1 minute and 10 seconds. I made special calculations just for this time period so you'll know whether or not your commander will be able to feed the bots every time the bots appear. You'll mine about 1400 minerals and 466 gas in 70 seconds. The calculations today are for after 8 minutes because that will give you enough time to expand, tech up, and get some army units. You will need to feed the bots 15 things before 8 minutes, so that's about 750 minerals gone. Since commanders expand and saturate their expos at different speeds, I won't factor in those calculations. Any extra resources you bank up there will be part of your savings. Unfortunately for these guys, I don't have any calculations because it's hard to calculate their extra income and losses. Basically, avoid losses whenever possible and use your top bars effectively to maximize your cash. Let's begin the math part with Fenix. With P2, his observers cost only 10 minerals and 30 gas and take 30 seconds to build. His probes cost 50 and take 17 seconds to build. That comes out to about 4 probes per nexus per minute. With a per minute income of 1200 minerals and 400 gas, he can make 13 observers and 21 probes. This means you should make 7 robos and 4 nexuses. You can make more nexuses if you think your macro will slip. During phases 2 and 3, you can make about 40 units per bot wave. This means you will have about 500 minerals for other things like Caldalis shells. Of course, you don't have to spend that money. Instead, you can keep making probes and observers to add to your savings, which you will need later. During phases 4 and 5, when Killbots come every minute, you will have to start dipping into your savings. If you don't full clear by 22 minutes, you will be in a bit of trouble. Your regular income can produce 34 units. There are 9 sets of bots in phases 2 and 3, and you get 500 spare minerals each time. This comes out to 90 probes. Since you need 45 kills from the 22 to 25 minute mark and your regular income only covers 34, you will need 11 per minute, leaving you with 57. Once phase 5 begins at 25 minutes, you will need 26 more per minute, which means you can only feed until 27 minutes. Afterwards, the bots will attack your base and you can't feed them enough to make them go away. As for your army, you have to rely on Caldalis and Fenix suits. Maybe you can add Warbringer, but you won't have money for the rest of the champs. Now let's go to Zeratul, Karax, and Artanis. Their observers cost more, so you can't make as many. Instead of 7 robos like Fenix, you only make 3 at most. During phases 2 and 3, you barely have enough to survive the 30 kills. This means you have to full clear around 16 to 19 minutes, and if you don't full clear by 20 minutes, you will need to hide structures. Zeratul can go hero only with a few cannons for projections. These can help clear buildings or stall bots and enemies. You may need to use the Legion to help clear, and you might want to avoid a raid depending on the map. Unfortunately for these two, they can't really feed and produce a meaningful army that can actually fight, and they're not good at clearing. Artanis can't solely rely on Unbound Fanatics, and his regular units aren't that great. Karax's tech path is too long, so he lacks energy in the early to mid-game. His army is weak in small numbers and his cannons can't move. Next is Dehaka. He relies on 50 mineral units to feed the bots. He can also feed locusts as well as his summons. Since you need minerals to feed, don't get the gases at your natural because you won't be able to spend them. With your per minute income of 1200 minerals, you can produce 24 lings or drones. This means you should get 4 wardens and 2 hives. Rally your drones away from the minerals once your expo is saturated. During phases 2 and 3, you can make 28 units. This means once phase 3 begins, you'll start bleeding your savings. This means you have to full clear by 16 to 19 minutes. Unlike Carax and Artanis, Dehaka just needs himself and pack leaders. You can add a few creeper hosts to help with clearing structures or taking out escort waves. Each squad should be in a different part of the map. Swan relies on 50 mineral units as well, but he can't feed and produce a meaningful army at the same time. And he's really slow at clearing. Sorry dude, killbots will wreck you. Alarak can't feed for very long either, but he is great at clearing. He can clear missed opportunities before 14 minutes if you are Frost. He can also make havocs from gateways because they also cost 50 minerals. The gas is irrelevant here. Tychus also can't feed for very long. He can clear fast, but not as fast as Alarak. Just like Alarak, he has to clear by around 14 minutes or else he will start to run out of money. You can feed with serious turrets early on, but they won't be enough later. If you can yoink an Infestor, Swarm Host, or Broodlord, you can feed for a bit longer. Vorazun has the usual option of feeding with probes, but she can also feed stasis wards. Note that your oracles should not be in vision of the killbots because they will try to attack the oracles, and when they do that, they will walk all over your stasis wards and triggering them, wasting them in the process. Each oracle costs 100 minerals and 75 gas, and they start with 50 energy. They can make a stasis ward immediately and recover 50 energy per minute thanks to their passive. That means they will pay for themselves 1 minute after they come out. In theory, this looks pretty good. In reality, it's nearly impossible. Starting from 1045, you need 20 kills, but you can only make 24 probes a minute assuming you have 4 nexuses. In my locked and loaded run, at 8 minutes, I had 1 oracle, no fleet beacon, no other units. That means I had about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to get oracles and DTs or some sort of army to do the objective. There are 2 sets of bots before 1045. I will gain about 700 minerals from whatever is left after feeding the bots. This means I have 1400 minerals to work with, but remember I had no fleet beacon, which means no cloak, which means I have to stay near a dark pylon or only recover 33 energy per minute. I can spend 450 minerals to get the fleet beacon and cloak upgrade, but that alone takes 2.5 minutes. And then I can make 9 oracles but have no army. And if I use the oracles to shoot, I can't make stasis wards. I have nothing to clear the map with, nothing to feed with, nothing to do the objective with. So in reality, Vorazun is not a really good choice. Next, let's talk about Nova. She feeds with 50 mineral SCVs. Don't make more than 3 CCs because you may want those minerals for an airstrike to clear an area or an attack wave. She can also feed with Raven turrets and healing drones. Remember to turn autocast off. The healing drone has a 60-second cooldown and the railgun turret has a 30-second cooldown. Each time you feed one of these to a killbot, you're basically earning 50 minerals. For P1, you can get your first Raven by 3 minutes and the second by 5:30. You can get the extra charges upgrade by 6:30. Then more Ravens every 2.5 minutes. Without the extra charges upgrade, you can pretty much only feed 1 healing drone and 2 auto turrets to 1 bot. For non-P1, you will have fewer Ravens. Your first Raven will also be later. The Ravens are most impactful from around 8 minutes to 10:30 because you need 10 kills and the Ravens provide most of them. During this time, you can get some army units and clear parts of the map. Feeding with Ravens is hard though, because you have to be close to the bots but not so close that they get hit. And you have to manually move the drones toward the bots each time and hold position. This strategy will also start to falter around 15 minutes, similar to Alarak and Tychus. Lastly, we have Mengsk. His troopers build really fast and cost less than SCVs, definitely not OP. His bunker drop also creates 340 minerals worth of value every 60 seconds as long as you have the mandate. His effective income can produce 38 troopers a minute, so you should have 5 command centers. During phase 2 and 3, he can make 35 troopers with his income. The bunker value is hard to calculate since it comes every 60 seconds, and during these phases, I'm counting income per 70 seconds. So let's just say that the bunker value is extra. You will spend 1200 minerals on troopers, which leaves about 200 minerals extra each bot wave. During phases 4 and 5, he will start dipping into his savings, so ideally you want to full clear before 22 minutes. His regular income can only produce 38 troopers a minute, so he'll need to dip into his savings. There are 9 sets of bots in phases 2 and 3, so that's about 1800 minerals or 45 troopers. You can drop a bunker once per minute 11 times, so that's 93 troopers. You will need to feed 45 to the bots from 22 to 25 minutes, so you will need 7 from your savings, leaving you with 117 troopers for phase 5. And in phase 5, you'll need 22 troopers from your savings per minute, which means you can feed for about 5 more minutes. That's actually pretty long. However, this assumes that you don't spend any money on your army, which is not very likely. As for army, you can make tank evacs against air and ESOs against ground. If you're using P3, you can make explodey troopers to deal with the objective, but keep them in bunkers to reduce losses. Remember that this is all calculations based on perfect macro, which isn't always possible. Try your best to keep producing units while clearing the map and doing the objective. Killbots is truly a multitask mutator. You should make extra production structures if you feel that you might miss macro cycles. Also, don't let units die to anything that's not a killbot. You want to be as economical as possible. Another thing to keep in mind is the travel time. It takes time for the killbots to move from their spawn point to their location, so you have time to make more units to feed them. In a sense, you may be borrowing from the future to pay for the present, but at least you won't lose. You'll keep doing this until you full clear, end the mission, or lose. And if you have no way to feed, use buildings to stall. If you're Protoss and you warp in buildings in their faces, they'll just bulldoze them in seconds though. And that's it for this video. I put a lot of time into these calculations and recording, so it would mean a lot to me if you dropped a like and a comment. Subscribe if you want to see more guides like this. Thanks to all the members who are supporting me. If you would like to join, check out the link in the description. And while you're here, check out my other guides on how to deal with other multitask mutators. See you there!